Hello there, beautiful friends from around the world. I'm going to be your host, Blackenfist, and I am here to answer your questions. And I am not alone. I am brung here.
Dragon Ball Nation.
Yeah,
guys.
Dragon Ball Nation. This guy I freaking
right.
hate, man.
Yeah, I don't really like you too. I'm not too fond of you myself. So.
Yeah. You know, just like all of you guys out there saying, asking me if I hate Dragon Ball Nation, it is confirmed. Yeah, man.
Either.
Yeah, fuck Dragon Ball Nation. That's why he's on here right now with me to answer your questions. So let's just get into it right now. Roka Soka, a long-time subscriber, asks me, how would you rank all the Dragon Ball manga arcs from worst to best? Also, how would you rank the super arcs thus far?
That's a pretty large question right there.
That is a pretty
very large question.
That is a pretty large question, and considering that I'm a Dragon Ball YouTuber, I probably will answer this in video form. All my arcs, I'll give them, sometime in the future, so I don't want to say too much. However, with Dragon Ball Super, I don't feel like I can judge the new arc just yet because it's not finished, but I can definitely say the Battle of Gods arc was better than the Resurrection F arc. But what about you, Josh?
I'm in the same boat. I don't want to say anything about the original Dragon Ball arcs because I want to do a video for that. I think most Dragon Ball YouTubers should do a video on that themselves, and it's such a big question you can't really go in depth here, and I probably don't know what my ranking would be off the top of my head anyways. I have to think about it. As far as Super, I would say by far the most enjoyable has been the New Universe 6 arc, and then next to that, Battle of Gods and then Resurrection F and last. It was kind of lackluster in Super. So
yeah. How strong do you think physical attacks are compared to Ki Blast, which are more painful? Well, I think it's pretty clear that Ki Blasts can be more powerful than physical attacks, if I'm not mistaken.
It's all about how much power you put into it. You can put in less even, so...
Yeah, that is true, but I do think that Ki Blast can reach greater potential. Of course, it also has to do with who's doing the physical attack in Ki Blast, but I do believe that Ki Blast can be more powerful than just a normal punch or kick.
Yeah, I mean, look at Nappa's. I mean, I guess you could say Nappa's arm break, what he used on TN, that's kind of a physical attack, but he did surround it in Ki. So, I mean, if you're strictly using physical, I mean, you're not going to reach the height of something as strong as like a very powerful Kamehameha or something like that.
And as for what is more painful, I mean, that's like asking... I heard that when you have very severe injuries, your brain kind of shuts off pain because it's no longer useful to your survival. So I don't know, man. It's like, when you lose your arm, is that very painful?
I mean, Tien looked like he was in pretty severe pain when he lost his arm.
That is true.
I mean, if a Ki Blast is going to kill you, then it won't be that painful, will it? It's just going to incinerate you.
That is very true. Jokes aside, would you be uploading more frequently on a regular, more frequent basis? I'm trying. I seriously am, guys. I am, like I said before, I actually am uploading at a more frequent basis. It's just that I got to get that even more than, than what it really is from what it's been in the past. But yes, I understand other YouTubers are making me look bad in that respect.
You gotta give him some slack. He's cut it down from 6 months now to 5 months. So wait a little bit less for the videos, guys. Give him a little slack.
What is your favorite food besides almonds, of course? Well, that's a tough question, really. Because it's like when you have your favorite, it's like your favorite and then everything else, right? But so why don't you answer it, man? What's your favorite food?
I think hands down probably chicken fried steak. I love chicken fried steak, man. That's good stuff.
What about watermelon?
I love me some watermelon, too. Frozen watermelon's good as well.
Grape drink?
I love that stuff.
Any Kool-Aid in that diet? All right. Could Chi-Chi learn the Kaioken? I don't see why not.
Anyone can learn it. It's about if your body can handle it.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's tailored to a specific race of beings or anything. It's something that can be learned, I believe, by anyone.
Yeah. In their first fight, Goku and Tien were equal in power, yet the Tri-Beam was much stronger than the Kamehameha. The Kamehameha all really depends on who's doing it, obviously. Like a Kamehameha from Perfect Cell and Master Roshi are completely, different because of who's doing it.
I mean, you gotta look. The Tri-Beam's taking Life Force essentially, and Ki is directly, connected to life source in its own way. But, the way I look at it is if you're doing a very powerful Kamehameha, it's not going to drain your life energy.
Yeah.
If you're like, I mean, it could if you were at your wits, if you were at the end of your life, but it's not like the Tri-Beam where it just goes beyond your capacity, so to speak.
So
I mean, look at him versus Cell, or when he did a Tri-Beam to deflect Boo Tanks' blast. Some absurd power there.
this could be an entire video on its own, but I'll give you a skinny answer. Basically, every single move in Dragon Ball, every single technique, pretty much depends on, well, for the most part, pretty much depends on who's doing it, the move. Like, that's the most critical factor in determining how strong it is. A move like the Tri-Beam, in theory, should be stronger than the Kamehameha, just as a technique, because it does have that life-draining thing, and the Kamehameha doesn't, meaning that, to make sense, I guess it should be stronger. So I guess if, like, Beerus did the Tri-Beam, it would be insanely more powerful than if he did the Kamehameha. I guess that's how it would work.
I mean, one thing that and we did skip a question, by the way, above that. I don't know if you want to answer that, but
no, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Same guy.
I didn't read it. Okay. What I wanted to just bring up real quick, one thing I didn't quite understand, and I was thinking maybe it's because it was like a capacity of how much energy he could output. But Vegeta using the Gallic Gun, then later obviously switches to prefer the Final Flash, it seems, but then switches to the Gallic Gun again. I figured maybe the Gallic Gun can only do so much power, but I mean, it just seems to be like, oh, well, we gotta let them have more moves so we can sell more toys and stuff. I mean, that's probably a part of it too. Stuff like that. But that's something I always found a little strange, but I don't know. It's still a beam. It's still a beam. Like, the Gallic Gun's been shown to be strong.
All right, usually we don't click on links, but you know what? Fuck it. Let's see what this guy sent us. And he sent us nothing important. All right, yo, big fan. This is my second question. But are you a fan of stand-up comedy? It depends on who's doing the stand-up. And by the way, guys, this is the reason why we don't click on links. For that right there, waste of time. No offense. If Boo was magic, then how does he reincarnate? Well, he's magic. He's magic. He's magic. But honestly, I think the next question is yours, Josh.
Can I be Blackenfist Jr.? I can change my nationality and become a Mexican faggot like you. I mean, I don't want to think anyone wants to sink as low as a Blackenfist. I mean, you might want to rethink that one.
Well, I just want to warn you that becoming like me, Mexican faggot, whatever you want to say, it takes almonds. It takes a long time. It's not something that you can just change on the fly like that. Now, this guy gets even weirder, it seems. Here, I heard that licking your scrotum. Yeah, obviously, big fan here, guys. Licking your scrotum will give you immortality, and eating your own ass will increase your strength and wisdom.
I could debunk this because I could tell you,
debunk it, man.
Does not work.
All right, man. You heard it from him.
It's a pretty big myth, but I wanted to debunk it right here.
Do you mind if we have a second babe in my here, for example, Quadog? I'm not even sure what this guy's talking about anymore, man.
It seems he's made Quinn. He's turned Quinn into a dog.
Yeah, all right, let's go to here. Can you explain why Vegeta killed Nappa? Well, obviously, he disgraced the race. He disgraced...
They said it. They basically explained it.
Yeah, I know. He pretty much explained it right in the show. So, what if Future Gohan and Future Trunks went into the Room of Spirit and Time? Could they beat the androids or even Cell? Well, considering that Vegeta and Future Trunks did both go into the Room of Spirit and Time, that they were able to train and everything, and they got really strong. But then again, there were different circumstances. Quaman has made a big argument, and some other people made a big argument. I forget how long it was, but was it like 17 years in the Future Trunks timeline?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the Room of Spirit and Time could, I guess there's some conditions that enhance training in there, but in reality, it's only one more year. They had 17 years and were not able to make much progress.
Yeah,
so
but it's also the gravity too. I think they could be stronger than the androids, but let's say Cell got strong enough to let's say Cell got to the level of strength where he fought was stronger than Piccolo in 17. They might not be able to get to that level. I think Trunks has proven himself though, So I think so, especially considering the androids were weaker, obviously, in the future. I think that's possible. If it was just first form Cell, I think that they could definitely defeat them all. But I've always, I don't want to get into a big thing about this, but I've always just assumed that the Room of Spirit time's destroyed in the future, honestly. I mean, I know it's just writing.
Makes sense.
Mention it, but I just think that that'd just be what it is.
Which Marvel film are you most excited for and why? That would be Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods 3.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, and this guy's asking me, would you rather? And I would rather not.
Well, you'd have to give us two. You'd have to at least give us a couple of things to go with that, you know.
And this guy's asking me what the next Dragon Ball Super arc will be. Well, we don't even know if there is going to be a next arc. I mean, there is a very good case you can make that there is going to be a next arc and that it's not going to end at the current one. That's not out of the question, but it's not confirmed, you know.
I think it's pretty clear that Cell's coming back in the next arc, so you guys can put your theories to rest, but I have connections with Toei and Toriyama's my uncle, so I know what's going on.
If you had to commit suicide, what way would you do it? I would stream it, of course. Monetize it. And monetize it. I don't know why, but, you know, that's probably the way to do it. What about you,
I'd jump off a bridge.
Would you stream it?
That'd be pretty difficult. I have to get a camera crew. Or maybe I'd Snapchat it. That best Snapchat of all time.
Do you honestly think Goku will come back in the tournament? Well, I mean, the last episode did allude to that, didn't it?
They pretty much, I mean, they mentioned it. They wouldn't have let Goku come back if they weren't going to utilize it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the last episode pretty much kind of confirms it, yeah. So, yeah, pretty much. Would you rather fight 10 chicken-sized Hercules or 1 horse-sized Hercule?
That's an easy one. 10 chicken-sized Hercules.
Well, obviously, man.
You step on them.
Exactly.
You ever seen how big a horse is?
How do you expect the Dragon Ball Super to end? I'm not sure. It could end... I really...
It's impossible to tell.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Especially considering the fact that we know that these universes aren't, you know, as similar. Like, Universe 6 and 7 are not as similar as we thought. There doesn't seem to be any alternate versions of Vegeta or Goku, so there's nothing like that's going to happen.
Now, Josh, I need you to answer this next question.
Dude, why don't you do more vids with... Why don't you do vids with DBN anymore? Do you hate him now? Answer it for real.
Well...
Or I'll keep asking, well, do you hate me? Because, I mean...
Well, if you heard the beginning of this video, I mean, we established that I hate you.
In all seriousness, though, I think a lot of people need to understand that we have so many connections with other YouTubers that it's not easy to keep up with all of them while managing our own channels, and we all have personal lives. We still talk a lot on a regular basis, but we don't always shoot videos together, but we're all still friends. We just don't always have time to do stuff. That's what people seem to understand, honestly.
Is Goku still smart? I don't know if he was ever smart. That implies he was smart at one point. In Super, he was struggling to do subtraction, but in DB, he knows splitting 4 into 1/4 of their power. Well, listen, man, he could have forgot that. If you think about it, Goku never had any schooling. The only schooling he did was under Master Roshi, and that was only for a brief period of time, so they're...
Goku's a genius fighter, and I mean, come on, that scene in Super is pretty much used for comical effects, so...
What if Hercule was brought up by Roshi or Roshi's masters and gained ki? Would he become a Z fighter? Sure.
I mean, you don't have to meet a whole lot of criteria to be a Z fighter. You just need to be... I mean, even Chaozu, you know. Chaozu's a Z fighter, so... What's he ever done? Not too much.
Yeah. Might it be too late, but do you think Tien could possibly be trained to become as strong as Goku and Vegeta? In a fan fiction.
It's not gonna happen. They're already Piccolo again, so.
Yeah. Favorite fight in Dragon Ball portion of the series? The Dragon Ball portion, okay. I mean, there's a lot to choose from. I mean, see, for me to really answer, I mean, I could give you stuff like, oh, their Tien Master Roshi fight was really good at the tournament. The Goku Piccolo fight at the end of the series. I mean, like, if I really wanted to do that question justice, I would really have to rewatch a lot of Dragon Ball, which I actually am doing. And, you know, just to really, because there's so many fights, you know, to do that question justice. But do you have a question, Josh?
My favorite fight is the pretty clearly one of the most intense ones out there. Is the Goku and the Pilaf robot fight when he gets stuck in his dungeon. He has to use his Kamehameha. One of the most intense fights in the series. You know, when he one-shots that robot down there.
Why did it take so long for Goku to power up against Ginyu even though he used the Kaioken? for dramatic effect, pretty much.
I mean, I don't think in the manga it took that long, did it?
Yeah, but I think he's referring to the anime.
Well, that's all.
I mean, it was
how they
clearly
produced
for
it.
dramatic effect. They just wanted to show how Goku's power level was so great and stuff. So, and this is the last question on Twitter. If you could give a professional input on DBS, what is one thing you would tell them to change, add to the plot? Add to the plot. Well, one thing I would want them to do is kill off Frost, but they're clearly not going to do that. They didn't do that, which, whatever. Well, that's one little thing. Another thing is probably just make the show a little bit more violent than it is. I'm not trying to go over the top violent, but I'm talking about, make it a little bit more violent. I think maybe it could be more entertaining.
A little more blood. I agree with you. One thing I would like to add is, a little more Android 18. I wouldn't mind, but there ain't much fanfare for that. So
yeah, that's overrated, man.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, 18's overrated.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Whatever. But anyway, those are the Twitter questions. If you want to answer me a question on Twitter, you can ask me. Please follow me. And of course, since there's way less questions on here, you're guaranteed to get an answer. But let's go to Ask.fm. Deborah versus Super Perfect Cell. You know what? I've answered this so many times. I am sorry.
I've answered it too many times as well.
Yeah,
I think it's one of the most popular questions. It doesn't matter how many times you answer it, you're going to keep getting the question asked.
Favorite stuff to listen to besides Dragon Ball? I guess he's referring to Dragon Ball music here.
Beautiful stuff.
I don't really listen to... I mean, I do listen to other anime music, but not nearly to the extent Dragon Ball. It's like Dragon Ball and everything else. So, yeah, I mean... Is regular Super Boo stronger than Kid Boo? Yes. Yes, he is.
Yeah, we don't need to get into some giant debate. It's pretty clear. If you read the manga, it's pretty clear that he's stronger. There's plenty of points to do it. There's probably about 10,000 videos to explain it to.
Now, here we go. Magneta, and yes, I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, but I don't give a fuck.
Blackenfist, I don't see an end there.
I don't give a shit. Versus Super Boo. Well, I would have to go with Magneto. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't think.
Wait. What? Seriously, what is this guy's name again?
Magetta.
Okay, I'd have to go with him. I would have to go with him because it would only make sense, right? I would assume.
Yeah, Vegeta has to go Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
How strong their bases are now. I mean, the thing is, it's really hard to say against Vegeta because his body's like indestructible. I mean, Boo's not gonna absorb him, is he? And even if he is, don't you? I mean, Magetta could probably like use the magma to like melt Boo or something. I don't know. Super Boo's insanely strong, but I think Magetta could probably beat him.
Botamo versus Vav Boo.
You want to be honest? I think Fat Boo. Botamo did not look strong at all. Goku would dodge him. Like Goku was when Goku was pulling him out of the ring. Even though Goku's insanely strong, you gotta think Goku was dodging Botamo's, assumingly very strong blast, where he's going pretty much all out to get Goku to let go of him. He's dodging him without even looking at him. So I think Fat Boo could probably handle him, one way or another. Turn him into chocolate.
Why does people complain about you taking to make your amazing videos and you upload more often than Quaman? Well, I don't think I do.
Well,
but I appreciate it.
He has his moments where he slows down.
Yeah, that's true. He does. Was Super Perfect Cell's power level around 50 billion? Yes, man. Yeah.
It's
actually, Josh, I got my contact with Toriyama, and I actually,
he's my uncle.
Well, he's your uncle, but I talk to him like almost every day. I asked him this question. He said yes. So
well, I talked to him, and he said he doesn't even remember making a character called Cell.
Oh.
I mean, you can't. It's not really unbelievable.
Well, that's kind of contradictory, man. Oh well, whatever, man. In which country do you live in? Why don't you guess, guys? I can't pronounce this. What are your favorite Dragon Ball songs? Well, I like Makifushigi Adventure. Probably my favorite song. As far as opening, that's probably my favorite. What is it about the Red Ribbon Army arc that you don't like? I feel that the Red Ribbon Army is too dispersed. Obviously, there are portions that I really do like. I enjoy a lot. The two portions I really enjoy are the beginning with Emperor Pilaf because of the, obviously, and when Mercenary Tao shows up. Those are the only two portions I really like. I thought that the Muscle Tower stuff dragged on a little bit too long. I found the villains interesting and dispersed and everything, but I just felt no connection to what was actually going on at all. Even when he was destroying the Red Ribbon Army, it just felt too dragged on a little bit more. Maybe I'll make a video to elaborate more on this, but to the short part, it felt too dragged on, even though, yes, there are other parts in Dragon Ball that can drag out way more, but maybe it's because I wasn't interested. Maybe I'll go in depth more on why I was not interested. King Choppa versus Mr. Sata.
Sata.
Well, I don't know who the hell Mr. Sata is. Who
But in all honesty, I probably would say King Choppa.
Well, Mr. Sata is probably some fan fiction character, so yeah. Dende in his prime versus Mercenary Tao. Well, Dende is not even a fighter.
Come on, he can fly. That's like, I think Tao would probably just knife him and that'd be it.
Yeah. Why does the Mechians have toilets? Well, obviously they have to piss, right?
Well, they drink a lot of water, yeah.
Yeah.
They got a big bladder.
Chaozu from the 22nd tournament versus Chi-Chi in her prime.
All he's got to do is freeze her, right?
Well, I mean, Chaozu has never won a match in his entire, existence of Dragon Ball, so probably Chi-Chi, I mean, right?
If she doesn't get frozen, she's going to end it.
Well, I guess so.
Wouldn't be a bad way to go with it.
All right, man. Since we're going down to the wire here, let's just go to random questions here. Let's just see what we got. Yeah, do you drink almond milk while eating almonds? Does it give you the feeling of gawning on the bones of your enemies? Okay.
You might want to just keep moving on.
While quenching your thirst with blood of their fallen brethren, or is it just the taste great with combination? I've never really... I have drunk almond milk, and I've obviously eaten almonds. I have never done the combination. Maybe I should do that sometime.
I don't like almond milk, man. I can't stand that stuff.
It's okay. How much stronger is SSJ4
we got
Goku than Buhan?
Kill question.
Well, first we got to answer this. Obviously, SSJ4 Goku is more than Buhan.
Well, in Blackenfist, I don't want to go in depth, but you can make the argument that GT Goku obviously is going to be leagues and leagues ahead. But if you had a hypothetical Super Saiyan 4 Goku in the Buu Saga, which is like, a 10 times multiplier Super Saiyan 3, Buhan would in fact be stronger than that.
But we're not talking about that, are we?
Well, that never specified.
What would you do if I was asleep in your bed?
Is this Emma Stone writing this question? Question. That's important. There's no name.
There's no name, exactly.
We don't know.
That's a very good point, Josh. Depends on who you are.
I only got a single-sized bed, so you're going to have a hard time fitting there.
You got to get more context in this question. But anyway, guys, that's the last of these questions. But obviously, if you want to ask me questions, go to ask.fm, or you can follow me on Twitter. And of course, if you want to ask Dragon Ball Nation, he's got his own stuff. You can follow him on Twitter. You can ask him your questions about Deborah and Perfect Cell. Ask him that a million times.
About Deborah and Cell, please.
We'll ask him about
I'm
Broly.
I'm get a bunch of questions about that now. Thanks.
Well, yeah, and of course, go ask him about if Broly's the strongest character in Dragon Ball. Ask him, send him all those questions over to Dragon Ball Nation. But until next time, guys, I'm Blackenfist, and I'm out, man.